It is 7 o'clock and we're going to get started, but before we do, I just want to make a brief statement. From time to time, this town board, over this past year, has been inviting special guests to participate in what I believe is a beautiful exercise that celebrates the best of who we are as individuals, a community, and as a nation. And today, I just have to say that I was most pleased to know that a good friend was coming to join us at the town board tonight for a special presentation. And that is the fact that from time to time we ask citizens or groups to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and or sing the national anthem. But tonight we actually have the great honor of getting both out of this individual, and that is the American Post's 20 chaplain, Ronald Wood Jr. and his beautiful wife is going to sing the national anthem.
Did you call me Junior? You just made me 50 years younger. Ronald Wood Sr.
Well, I'll ask you to come forward. And,
I'm not coming. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, right here is fine, and Ricky will get you on the camera.
Oh, what people have to do to get on camera. Listen, we'd like to have you all stand if you would. And before we do the national anthem, I just want to relate to you a little story about the Pledge of Allegiance. Up until 1954, there was no under God. Do you know who was responsible and worked on this for years to bring it about and that it became reality? Any idea?
Dwight.
Well, it was the Knights of Columbus. And during the presidency of Dwight David Eisenhower, it became the order of the pledge, and it has a great deal of meaning. And now we would like to sing for you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars rule the perilous fight? O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? And the flag. And now we will pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Wonderful job.
Part of the reason that I asked Ron to come was in advance of Veterans Day, which is tomorrow. And obviously our office building would be closed and we couldn't commemorate the event tomorrow, as our board meeting would not be then. So I asked Ron to come as a tribute, and I look forward to participating in some of the activities in town tomorrow representing the town. So thank you very much for everybody standing and participating. I will call this meeting to order. at 7:05 PM. And can I get a roll call, please?
And if you want to wait 30 seconds, Mr. Wood just walked in.
Probably more than 30 seconds.
We'll advance that. Why don't we keep this meeting on
Oh, okay. Michael Cashman,
present?
Martin Mannix,
President.
Meg LaFave,
Present.
Art Beaver, James Coffey,
Here.
Rick Collins.
All right. I am going to ask that we depart just for a second, Ricky, just so we can stay somewhat on schedule to open the public hearing. So I would ask that you read the public, and we'll open it at 7:05.
Well, which one do you want to read?
It should be the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting public hearing, November 10th. The meeting, budgetary.
Oh. Further notice is hereby given that the town board, Town of Plattsburgh, will hold a public hearing thereon at the town hall located at 151 Baker Road in the town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, November 10th, 2016 at 7:05 PM prevailing time. At such hearing, any person may be heard in favor or against as compiled for or against any item therein contained. Preliminary budget of elected officials, Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Water District, Town of Plattsburgh Consolidated Sewer District, Base Water District, Base Sewer District, Base Stormwater Management District, Base Highway Maintenance Improvement District, Townwide Highway, Lighting Districts, and Ambulance. And it be further written, if there's any acceptance, comments to the record or the hearing, the public hearing will be open for public comment.
I would like to accept a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Tom Wood. Is there a second?
Seconded.
Favor? And the time of that is, after reading, 7:07. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Mannix?
Yes.
Mike LaFave?
Yes.
Barb Heber?
Yes.
Mike Cash?
Yes. We'll now go into the public hearing. Is anyone currently present wishing to speak or provide written comment?
I have one question. On the preliminary budget that was posted online, I noticed that the JCEO amount is exactly what it had been in the tentative budget, and I was wondering if you had decided to change that between now and then, when it was posted.
You're saying that it's the same?
It was the tentative budget and the preliminary budget were the same. It was the
Correct.
same amount. There was no increase.
My recommendation was it not to be increased and it to remain the same right now.
Okay.
Given its consideration of the in-kind services that we provide.
Okay.
So I would strongly urge the board that we look at that going forward next year. But,
I know that between now and the final budget, that can be changed, however.
yep.
So, but at this point, it's still going to be remaining the same. Thank you.
I'd like to say something. Well, I'm in favor of this budget. I was in favor and continue to be in favor of the increase of money for JCEO to take care of the people that need to be taken care of in this town.
Is there any other comment for written or from the floor? If not, I'm going to put this aside just for a couple moments, return to the regular agenda, and then we will go back. Okay? Resolution 16-214, approve minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of October 17, 2016 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
I would accept a motion.
So moved.
LaFave. Is there a second?
Second.
Mannix. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call.
Thomas Wood?
Yes.
Martin Mannix?
Yes.
Mike LaFave?
Yes.
Barb Heber?
Yes.
Mike Cash?
Yes, this resolution does carry. Going to advance into 16-215, the abstract.
Resolved that the abstract of audit claims number 11A-16, 2164 to 2312 for $290,337.22, and abstract 11A-16, 421 to 456 prepays in the amount of $1,359,536.25 be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mannix, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion?
Well, I just want to say thanks to Patrick and his staff, because they made it easier for the audit committee to review the vouchers in a timely fashion, because again, we had a holiday and the election, so thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Ditto.
A solid ditto in there.
Well, I think that would go for everybody.
Duly noted, duly noted. All right, roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Ditto.
Meg LaFave, Barb Hebert, Mike
Echo
Cashman.
All right, yes. This resolution also does carry. Resolution 216, 3% site plan return deposit for NICEAG substation site plan for special use permit 212. Sorry.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements of the NICEAG substation site plan and special use permit 2012. Whereas the planning department has coordinated inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor hereby authorized and directed to release the deposited amount of $2,003.64 plus accrued interest to date. And it be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the planning department secretary with the return of the deposit to New York State Electric and Gas Incorporated.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert.
Yes.
Mike Cashman.
Yes, resolution so carries. Resolution 16217, Brian, yep, I can't speak tonight, is part of, thank you. Good Guys Convenience Store Water and Wastewater Utilities Outside User Agreement.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Department of Water and Wastewater has received a request from Brian Yudlovich, Good Guys Convenience Store, 6054 Route 22, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, to become an outside user of the Greater Plattsburgh Water and Sewer District. Now therefore be resolved that the supervisors hereby authorized to sign outside user agreement with the aforementioned individual, authorizing them to become an outside user of the district, providing each party pays all appropriate fees as set forth in the agreement. And relative to the permits, and it be further resolved that Mr. Yanulovich be responsible for all installation and all piping. And be further resolved that Mr. Yanulovich be granted permission to become an outside user of the district as set forth in said agreement. And it be further resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize and direct the supervisor to sign such agreements on behalf of the district upon acceptance and approval by the town attorney. And it be further resolved that a copy of this agreement be given to the finance manager, water and wastewater department, and to the town clerk's office.
Is there a motion? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Wood. Any discussion? Seeing none? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert.
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, resolution does carry. Just checking in, I know that we've not physically had anybody new to the audience, but just in case, is anybody seeking to make a comment on the budget? All right, we'll put it on ice and we'll move this show forward. Okay, resolution 16218, complete assessment rolls for 2017.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Board has met at the time and place specified in the notice of public hearing to review the completed assessment rolls for the ambulance, water, sewer, stormwater management, lighting, highway districts, and hearing of all persons desirous to be heard. Thereupon now, therefore it is resolved that the completed assessment roll be and hereby adopted as the annual assessment roll for the town of Plattsburgh. And it be further resolved, the supervisor shall prepare and certify in duplicate copies of the assessment roll for the benefit of the improvements adopted pursuant to section 116 and 202A subdivision 2 of the town law, and deliver one copy thereof to the Clinton County Board of Legislators. And it be further resolved that the assessor and finance manager be given a copy of this resolution also.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Minutes. Any discussion? Seeing none? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Lefebvre,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 16219, delinquent water and sewer charge relays.
Whereas certain water and wastewater bills have not been paid and are now delinquent. Therefore be resolved that a list of delinquent water and wastewater charges in the respective districts for 2016 be submitted by the Water and Wastewater Department to be accepted and placed on file, and a copy be forwarded to the Clinton County Board of Legislators to be added to the 2016-2017 tax roll, and that a copy be given to the town clerk pursuant to section 198-3 of the town law. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert. Is there a second?
Second.
Lefebvre. Any discussion?
Is that a misspell
In the
in the title?
title.
Yes. Okay. Any other? All right. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Mike Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cashin.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 16220, resignation of Robert Pearl as planning board member and chairperson.
Resolved to receive and place on file effective immediately a letter of resignation from Robert Pearl as a member and chairman of the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board. And it be further resolved that the supervisor, on behalf of the town board, send a letter of appreciation thanking Mr. Pearl for his 50 years of past service to the town and wishing him well in his future endeavors. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Trevor Cole, Planning Department Head.
Is there a motion? Mannix, Wood. Any discussion?
What is the plan going forward?
You're actually, once we get a couple of resolutions in, we'll talk about specifically,
Okay.
but I do want to note that Mr. Pearl served with distinction on this board for 50 years. Quite remarkable to have somebody volunteer their time, their passion, their skills, their talents, a number of things that you could certainly refer to. And upon his resignation, I immediately placed a phone call to thank him. I'll certainly put a letter together as well. But he is a very, very humble person. He was just so extremely appreciative of being given the opportunity to serve his community, and I think we're really indebted to, what he contributed over the course of so many, many years. And it was, in fact, I'll say it before we get to the resolution, it's at the end of the pile, but in consultation with him, I had a conversation of who he thought would be befitting to serve in the chairman's position, and it's Sandy Letterell. We had a lengthy conversation about that, and he felt that there were a number of wonderful colleagues, all of which have great skills and ability. He thought that Sandy's ability to facilitate conversation, and that's probably one of the most significant requirements of a chair's role, is to be able to assist in the flow of a good conversation on behalf of the individuals that are before you with a request, and also, behalf of the board that's making some decisions. And I also had a conversation with Ann Brandell in similar regard about her thoughts and opinions, and she echoed every sentiment. So tonight I bring forward Sandy's name, but slightly off topic, so I'll stop there.
I'd like to add, he served 50 years, but he was chairperson for 30, and he did do an excellent job working with people on the board and getting all of the aspects of any project out. And he's worked with a number of people who have been in charge of planning, and no one has not had anything to say that was not positive and laudatory of Mr. Pearl.
So, and that's, and personally, that's why his words weigh so directly on, my decision to bring Sandy's name forward later on for the chairperson's position, and the planning board has a meeting next week too. So I really wanted to, so. Any further discussion on this particular topic?
I hate to see him go. But I understand.
Seeing no further, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Heber.
Yes.
Mike Kowski.
Yes. Resolution does carry. Marty noted that you seem to hesitate, and I realized that just because if you said no doesn't mean that we would not be able to lose him. He has already resigned. So, advancing Resolution 16, 221, Planning Board Member, reappointment of Ann Brindle.
Whereas Ann Brindle has been on the planning board and is willing to continue to serve as a regular planning board member. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby reappoint Ms. Brandel as a resident of the town of Plattsburgh to the planning board for a term to expire December 31st, 2023. And it be further resolved that Ms. Brandel take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and the supervisor send a letter of appointment and appreciation to Ms. Brandel, and it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the planning department head, and a certified copy be given also to Mrs. Brandel.
Is there a motion?
So,
Mannix, is there a second?
Second.
Wood. Any
You
discussion?
could just change that to reappoint, right?
Yep.
It was read that way.
Yep.
yeah.
Any further discussion? Seeing none? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre,
Yes.
Barb Heber.
Yes.
Mike Kowski.
Yes, and this resolution does carry. Resolution 16, 222, Planning Board Member, appointment of Tim Palmer.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the planning board for a regular board member, and whereas Tim Palmer is an alternate on the planning board and is willing to serve as a regular planning board member, now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby appoint Mr. Palmer, a resident of the town of Plattsburgh, to the planning board as a regular board member for a term to expire December 31st, 2018. And it be further resolved that Mr. Palmer take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and the supervisor send a letter of appointment and appreciation to Mr. Palmer. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the planning department head, and a certified copy be given to Mr. Palmer.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Lefebvre and Wood. Any discussion?
Is it an alternate or a,
It's, no, he was an alternate, and now he will be serving a term.
does this not say that he's being appointed as an alternate in the first result?
It says it in the resolution.
Says that he's an alternate.
Whereas Tim Palmer is an alternate on the planning board, is serving as a regular planning board member. Unless I'm missing,
Let's see.
Well,
It's willing
Resolved.
to serve,
You know.
it should say.
resolved. I brought that up the other day,
and I
and I
thought,
wasn't here to get changes. Did you get another?
and I thought it was corrected, Tom, I apologize, so. Whereas Tim Palmer is an alternate on the planning board and is willing to serve,
Yes, and then in the resolve it says that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh does hereby appoint Mr. Palmer, a resident of the town of Plattsburgh, to the planning board as an alternate.
No, it
Oh, we're
says,
just saying.
Mine
there's
says
a revised one.
regular
Yeah.
board.
I got the alternate version myself.
No, it's been changed
I'm
at the
sorry.
time.
your
That's okay,
packet,
that's okay.
I provided a packet on the table.
Okay, so you
Oh,
did
yeah,
change
yeah.
that. 'cause
I did make some
brought that
changes.
up. Okay.
It
Yeah.
was changed.
My apologies.
No, it's
Okay.
not
Sorry, we didn't get the new one.
That's okay.
No,
So, all right,
too serious.
Oh, I got here.
I'll seek a roll call.
Thomas Wood,
As a regular member, yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg Lefebvre.
Yes.
She's said yes.
She said,
Yeah.
Barb Hebert?
Yes.
Mike Cash?
Yes, resolution does carry.
It's my fault, I didn't get here early enough to get those changes.
That's right.
I have no excuse.
Hey,
Fully accountable, I like that, Billy.
can I just tell you, I'm wrong a lot of the time, and it feels good to not,
Somebody else.
because I'm sure as we dig deeper in this, somewhere along the way, there'll be something wrong, so.
We like to dig.
At this point, I'll offer the audience one more opportunity. Is there any public comment for the budget hearing proceedings? All right, we'll hold this off, and we'll get through a couple more resolutions, and then we'll move forward in closing out the public hearing. Resolution 16223, United Parcel Service petitioner against the assessor and the Board of Assessment Review of the Town of Plattsburgh and the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York responded.
Whereas regarding the above matter, a notice of petition and petition to review the assessment for the assessment years of 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, on the real estate of the above-named petitioner in the town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, state of New York, tax map number 205-4-12, known commonly as 214 Banker Road, was duly served upon the Board of Assessment Review and the assessor of the town of Plattsburgh. Whereas the respondents of said property owners are prepared to enter into an agreement and stipulation of compromise and settlement of their differences as follows. See the original stipulation and settlement order which is attached. Whereas appears in the best interest of the town of Plattsburgh to settle said matter as recommended by the assessor of the town of Plattsburgh without further attending any legal and appraisal costs related to said item. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, town of Plattsburgh, in a regular session duly convened as follows. The town attorney of the town of Plattsburgh be and hereby is authorized to consent to enter into appropriate court orders for the accomplishment of said settlement upon the entry of the court orders directing the establishment of the assessments as set forth in the attached stipulation settlement and order, and to execute stipulation discontinuance of said proceeding. 2, the resolution shall take effect immediately.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second?
Second.
Or Hebert? Okay. Any discussion?
Yes, I'd like to point out that we were able to keep the assessment the same for all the back years, 2012 through 2016, and we got a favorable amount for 2017, 18, and 19, so we would not have to go to court on those types of things.
I would accept a roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Aye.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert.
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, this resolution is carried. At this point, I am going to move forward with the process of closing the public hearing here this evening as it relates to the budget. I will ask one last time, is there any either written comments for the record of the hearing or comments from the floor? Are there any comments written or off the floor? Are there any written or, yeah, there's no actual written comments on the floor.
Jumping off.
All right, at this point then, I would accept a motion to close the public hearing at 7:29. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mannix. 7:29. Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert.
Yes.
Mike Cash.
And the roll call was closed at 7:29. If you would allow just for a moment, the chairman's privilege to express appreciation for Patrick Bowen and all of his hard work in helping us to assemble next year's budget. This is a process that goes on over an extended period of time. But many people often refer to things as a budget season. I firmly believe, at least from my vantage point of taking on the supervisor seat, that We really try to look at things not as a budget season, but look at the budget every single day. You know, there are challenges in local municipalities with the tax cap, but we stayed underneath it. As I've said before, I'm a firm believer in the New York State tax cap from the standpoint that we should do everything that we can to be responsible to that. And should you need to exceed it, you need to justify it to the public. As we look forward into the years ahead of us, there's a good chance that we will exceed the tax cap as it relates to capital planning. But we will do everything we can to keep our general budget, if you were to pull that apart, and stay under the tax cap. But there are things that are above our control from state mandates. You never know what New York State's going to roll down on you. But I do, again, very much appreciate all of Patrick's assistance, as well as the department heads. We tried an experiment this year, as you folks know, where we had department heads come together on a Saturday in an effort to be more accessible to the public, all in one day. I certainly...
Was it more convenient for you?
It was very convenient for me.
I certainly, I liked it
It's the same.
because in years past, not even all the council members have attended the budget workshop session. It's a lot of work, it's a long day, but I think it also helped us to streamline the process before, during, and after. And I will most likely make similar recommendations next year. We're a long way out, but again, we're already thinking about the budget that follows this one. I'm proud of it, and I'm just very proud that we've also reorganized some things in some ways that will hopefully benefit us in the future. So thank you for your patience, and any comments or thoughts?
Ditto.
All right. At this point then, I would advance Resolution 16-224, the adoption of the 2017 budget.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh, whereas the board of the town of Plattsburgh has met at the time and place specified in the notice of public hearing to review the entirety of the 2017 preliminary budget and heard all persons desirous to be heard. Now therefore be resolved that after the meeting with department heads and having the public hearing, the preliminary budget was amended and hereby adopted as the final budget for the town of Plattsburgh for the fiscal year beginning the first day of January 2017, and that the attached budget as adopted in its entirety in detail in the minutes of the proceedings of the town board. And it be further resolved that the supervisor shall prepare and certify in duplicate copies of said annual budget as adopted by the town board, together with the assessment goals for the benefit of improving adoption pursuant to sections 116 and 202A subdivision 2 of the town law, deliver one copy thereof to the Clinton County Board of Legislators. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager.
Is there a motion?
Vote.
LaFave and Mannix. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion,
I'd just like to say, in addition to Pat, I'd like to thank you for all the work you've done on it. And you've put in a lot of time and effort and presented it very well.
thank you, I appreciate it. I really truly believe that it's a team approach. It's a major responsibility that I think we all take very seriously, and culturally we've made some changes, and I anticipate that we'll continue to evaluate and do the best. So, thank you.
Yeah, I echo those remarks, Tom, and Patrick, thanks for taking time when I wanted to sit down and talk to you and ask more questions and dig a little further. Appreciate
I
it.
actually enjoy that, so.
Okay.
Anything else? All right. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Beaver,
Yes.
Mike Cashman.
Yes, this resolution does carry. All right, resolution 16-225, Tim Bray promotion from MEO 3 to MEO 5. 4.
Whereas there are times when terms and conditions of employment may change and situations may develop making it important to review employee wages and terms and conditions of their employment. Whereas the town board, town of Plattsburgh, desires to maintain fair and equitable working conditions and compensation for its employees. Whereas the attached letter dated November 7, 2016 by James Wood, Highway Superintendent, made a request to upgrade Tim Dubray's title from MEO3 to MEO4 with appropriate hourly wage per contract. Now therefore be resolved that after due consideration and discussion with the finance manager, the highway superintendent requested further promotion be approved and the supervisor sign all necessary documents, and that the finance manager be authorized to submit the promotion of Tim Dubray as indicated pending civil service final approval. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, highway superintendent, civil service department. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to Mr. Dubray and placed in his personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion?
I just need to bring up, because I think this has been brought up before, anal a little bit picky, but, you know, when we are proposing someone's name, Tim Dubray, I noticed it was, unless I have a different resolution, it's got Timmy.
What does it say?
Timmy.
Upgrade Timmy Dubray.
That's what it goes by.
Is that what it goes by?
Yeah.
But in a resolution, when we're doing something formal like this, it's been brought up before, so I don't want to belabor it.
What's
I
his
just
name?
want-
You know,
But that's his name.
as
What's his
as a
name?
person that grew up with a father
Timmy's
that's
his
name
real
is
name.
Well, I don't,
Michael, you know,
He
and
just
my
likes
name's
Timmy,
Michael,
so that's
and you
got
get
two
Big
names
Mike,
here.
Little Mike, and this thing and that thing. I think we obsess a little too much on the name thing.
Yeah.
If it is a variation thereof, I think we should be fine. I think it would be much different if we were appointing Howard, you know, if that's not his name. That's just from my personal standpoint.
And I'm only bringing it up because, again, in a formal
Yeah.
process like this, I just, it's
I
like.
just-
I agree with Barb, I think a little more attention to.
My only
That's-
thing would be that we be consistent through
Yeah.
the resolution.
That's what I'm
There's
He's
two.
referred to in the resolution as Timmy, but at the top of the resolution, it's Tim.
So, again.
That's all.
I'm
And I agree with the others, Michael.
Except the letter says Tim.
We'll make the correction thereof.
Thank you, Michael.
That's all.
But again, I just,
No, that's-
I just want to invoke consistency.
Hey,
even-
I'm one person on the board, as I remind people on a regular basis.
I know you do, Michael.
So what's it gonna be? Do we know?
We'll go with Tim.
Tim.
Thank you.
Good job, little Mike.
Ditto.
Not a problem, Margaret, not a problem.
Oh, man. I'm in trouble now.
All right. Might I get
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Manning,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Absolutely,
and
yes.
Mike Conson.
yes, resolution does carry. All right. Let's see if there's any name changes in this one. Resolution 16-226, Lenny Duquette promotion from MEO2 to MEO3.
Whereas there are times when terms and conditions of employment may change, situations may develop, making it important to review employees' wages in terms of condition of their employment. Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board is desirous to maintain fair and equitable working conditions and compensation for its employees. Whereas in an attached letter, November 7, 2016, from James Woods, Highway Superintendent, may request to upgrade Lenny Duquette's title from MEO2 to MEO3 with appropriate hourly wage as per contract. Now therefore be resolved that after due consideration and discussion with the finance manager, the highway superintendent request for promotion to be approved and the supervisor to sign all necessary documents and the finance manager to be authorized to submit the promotion of Lenny Duquette as indicated pending civil service final approval. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, highway superintendent, and civil service department. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be put in Mr. Duquette's personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
LaFave. Is there a second?
Second.
Hebert. Any discussion?
Is it Lenny or Leonard?
It's Leonard. We can, what would you like?
It's
Well, I
actually,
think we should have his real name.
it's actually Leonard Duquette Jr. or something.
Yeah.
Flutter Duquette Jr.
I'd leave it alone.
What's that, Murray?
I
I'm
said
not
I'd
making
leave
any
it
more
alone, I'd
comment,
leave it
just
in.
pass.
If you're going with informal names, I'd stay with the informal names.
Yeah.
Lenny?
Any issue, any concern?
Is there an effective date on there?
It says indicated pending final civil service approval.
Right, so it really should be a set for the next pay period. All right, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cash.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 16227, proclamation of Small Business Saturday.
Whereas the government of the terms of town of Plattsburgh, New York, celebrates our local small business and the contributions they make to our local economy and community, according to the United States Small Business Administration, there are currently 27.9 million small businesses in the United States. They represent 99.7% of the American employer firms, create more than 2/3 of the net new jobs, generate 46% of the private gross domestic product, as well as 54% of all U.S. sales. And whereas small business employs over 55% of the working population of the United States, whereas 89% of the consumers in the United States agree that small business contributes positively to the local community by supplying jobs and generating tax revenue. And whereas 87% of the consumers in the United States agree that the small businesses are critical to the overall economic health of the United States. And whereas 93% of the consumers in the United States agree that it is important for the people to support small businesses, and they are the value of the community. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh, New York, supports local businesses that creates jobs, boosts our local economy, and preserve our neighborhoods. And whereas the advocacy group, as well as the public and private organizations across the country, have endorsed the Saturday after Thanksgiving as Small Business Saturday. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Plattsburgh, among our partners in the North Country Chamber of Commerce, Clinton County legislators, City of Plattsburgh, do hereby proclaim and promote November 26, 2016 as Small Business Saturday. And it be further resolved that the town board urges the residents of our community and communities across the country to support small businesses and merchants on Small Business Saturdays throughout the year.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Mannix, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any discussion?
Yeah, in that, fifth whereas,
Yep.
which is the town of Plattsburgh, New York, and I think New York should be deleted. Should simply read, whereas the town of Plattsburgh supports our local businesses that create jobs.
So just so you have a little sense of this resolution, it was kind of a pre-select template through this, and it's not very clean. There's a couple of things that aren't perfect about it, so I'm glad that you picked up on a couple of those things, if your preference. So some of the language is a little weird. All right, anything else? I would just offer that this year we are working in a very strong partnership with the North Country Chamber of Commerce, along with the City of Plattsburgh and Clinton County, to really promote Small Business Saturday. We've actually been designated as what's considered a champion community, which means that we receive a number of free items that we can actually give to some local businesses to help them promote the concept of shopping locally. And we're putting all those resources together and trying to promote a campaign. So I think each year it will grow. Small Business Saturday is only still kind of in its infantile years, but hope that we can continue to encourage people to shop local. I think there are a lot of great businesses here. So Roll call then.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
and Mike Cashman.
Yes, proclamation carries.
And should point out, though, if you're buying online, you're not shopping local. Gotta get to the stores.
Duly noted. Resolution 16-228, appointment of the planning board chairperson.
Whereas a vacancy exists on the planning board for the chairperson, whereas Sandra Laterell is willing to serve as a chairperson for the planning board. Now therefore be resolved, the town board, town of Plattsburgh, is hereby appoint Sandra Laterell to the planning board as chairman, effective immediately. And to be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the planning department head, a certified copy also be given to Mrs. Laterell, and to be further resolved that she take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood. Is there a second?
Second.
Hebert. Any discussion? Personally, I just reference back to what I said earlier. In large part, I did not take light the need for us to obviously have a chairperson for this board, and consulted with a number of individuals, in particular Mr. Pearl, who served so well, not only as a longtime member, but as the former chairperson, and also Ann Brandell, so. All right. Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert,
Yes.
Mike Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. At this point, I would accept a motion to go into a short executive session with no actions to be taken to talk about the employment history of a particular person. Anybody?
I'll make a motion for that.
Okay. LaFave, second.
I'll second that.
Mannix, and the time that will go in is 7:47. It will be brief. May I receive a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved.
Mannix, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert. Come out of executive session at 7:59 PM. I'll do the roll call because Rick's not here. Tom?
Yes.
Mannix?
Yes.
LaFave?
Yep.
Hebert?
Yes.
Cashman? Yep. Can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:59 PM?
So moved.
LaFave, is there a second? One. Any discussion? Seeing none. Roll call. Wood?
Yes.
Mannix?
Yes.
LaFave?
Yes.
Hebert?
Yes.
And yes, carries. Thank you very much. Drive safe, folks.